Welcome back, guys. We're going to be doing my predictions for SummerSlam 2025, the two-night match card. Firstly, what do you guys think of the two-night match card format for SummerSlam? If this is a success, I'm pretty sure WWE will go ahead with this in the future. Personally, I like one-night shows just to get everything done, but I do get why they're doing this, to have a greater experience, to have more wrestlers on the card. I do understand that. So we're going to go through each match and I'm going to give you my thoughts on who's winning and why they're winning. We're starting off with Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Okay, so firstly, I like Tiffany Stratton. I think she's incredibly over. She's getting babyface cheers, even though she's kind of a heel character, but she's definitely not getting booed. But I do think that, unfortunately, for my personal preferences, this is not going to go well, because WWE, they've got that rocket strapped to Jade Cargill's back, and she's going straight into the stratosphere, wherever she wants to go. And she's definitely, or not definitely, this is predictions, so I can't say definitely, but I'm convinced she's going to be the champion. This was their plan with her since they signed her a couple of years ago, just to absolutely strap that rocket to her. They had her with Bianca Belair to get a better in-ring. It worked a little bit. She's not the greatest in-ring yet, but that's not what this is about. She's a character, she's a draw. Personally, not a fan, but ultimately Jade Cargill is taking the win. Next, it's still on the match card. We've got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Is Drew McIntyre going to make it? As of time of recording, yesterday, so I'm recording today, but yesterday, he couldn't get out of the UK back to the US with visa issues or something along those lines. I don't know exactly the details, but is that a work? Is it true? I have no idea. Is it a heel work? Literally not a clue. This one, it's tough to predict celebrity matches, because celebrities don't often tend to lose. Mostly they tend to win. Sometimes they do lose, depends on a lot of factors, I guess. But what are we doing? If Drew doesn't show up, are we doing Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and maybe Randy Orton as like a ringside? I have no idea what we're doing. Is there going to be a substitute for this match if Drew McIntyre can't make it? But let's just go with the match currently scheduled. That's Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Celebrities tend to often take the W, and I do think with a lot of Randy Orton help, I think Jelly Roll, he is pinning Logan Paul. That's my guess. And this one is tough because you don't know what's really going to happen. Next, we've got Gunther versus CM Punk. Here's the first one where I throw a massive curveball. Gunther versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think it's time for CM Punk to ascend to World Champion status again. I think it's been time since they signed him again, since he made his comeback at, what was it, Survivor Series, I believe it was, War Games. It's time for him to ascend to that pinnacle of the company again. Now, would this be at the expense of Gunther? No, I think Gunther is such a strong character that he can take one loss and it's not going to affect his career that much. Now, here's why I throw in a curveball. I've been saying since the beginning, Seth Rollins' injury is a work. I said it from day one. Reason I said that, he barely landed. And Michael Cole already said he tweaked his knee. Was a bit fast, Michael Cole. That's my opinion. Obviously, I could be so way off base. Watch that back when he did that flip against, I believe it was LA Knight. Yeah. He barely landed. And Michael Cole already commentated on that. I don't know. I believe it's a work. And I think CM Punk is winning regardless. So either CM Punk is winning and he's leaving the show as World Heavyweight Champion, or CM Punk is winning and they're doing a whole Damian Priest thing and Seth Rollins cashes in, curb stomp, or Seth Rollins does another heist of the century. Right at the end of the match comes in, curb stomp. Who knows? They might recreate the heist of the century, even though Seth is a heel now. It's tough to say, but CM Punk is winning. And then another prediction on top of that, we're getting Seth Rollins cash in, and we're moving into a feud with Seth Rollins and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Next, we've got the Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, of course, against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss, she's getting the pops of the night. She is so incredibly over. She is so over that she's actually getting Charlotte Flair some of that rub. This I'm excited about this match simply because it's 4 people that are just incredibly on top of their game, and it's just going to be a fun match. But I do think we are seeing a title changing hands. We are seeing Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. They are our new women's tag team champions. Reason being, they're going to defend this championship night in, night out, and then eventually 6 months down the line, they're going to break up and have a massive feud, Charlotte Flair against Alexa Bliss. That's just what I see happening. But Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss walking out new champions. Next, we've got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. This one, it's simple. Roman and Jey, they're not going to lose. Bron Breakker, he's the one that WWE wants to push into that next level as well. He's not going to lose. I think, unfortunately, Bronson Reed is taking the pin, and it will probably be Roman Reigns pinning him. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, I just cannot see a reason, any logical reason why they would lose this match. It just makes no sense. Roman Reigns is still one of the faces of the company. WWE will not have him lose against. It's just not happening. If anybody in that team is taking the pin, it's Jey Uso, but I also don't see that happening. Bronson Reed, I'm sorry, you're taking the pin. Next, we've got Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross with Charlotte, of course, with basically no build. It's just, he came and he attacked him with a pipe, and that's about it. Sami Zayn, mega underdog babyface, and WWE would want this feel-good moment at the show. Karrion Kross is doing the work of his career. Maybe not the work of his career. His work in NXT was pretty amazing, but he's doing his work of the main roster. He's the best work of his main roster career. But I do think WWE, they're all about those feel-good moments, and I think Sami Zayn is just going to be that feel-good moment, and he's going to take out Karrion Kross and walk away with the win. Next, we've got let's leave that match for last. I'm going to start from next. We've got this is a big one to read. The Wyatt Six, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, they're the champions, of course, versus Andrade and Rey Fenix versus DIY versus Fraxium versus Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits in a tables, ladders, chairs match. If this could be anything as good as TLC 2 at Mania X7, this is going to be the match of the night, or both nights. This one, these matches are always so impossible to really predict, but I'm just going to go with my heart, and for no reason at all, I want to see Fraxium win. Nathan Frazier and Axiom, I want to see them win. I want to see them being pushed to the absolute moon. It's kind of cool to see that WWE has so many tag teams that can actually be involved in a six-pack match. Next, we've got Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Dominic Mysterio, he's getting mega pops everywhere he goes. Just so incredibly over, even though he's still a heel. He's becoming that. Obviously, he's not at that level yet, but I'm trying to explain what kind of pops he's getting. When The Rock was still a heel, when he referred to himself in the third person, he was starting to get mega over just because of his personality. Dom is getting mega over as a heel, and he's just doing the work of his career. AJ Styles, I can imagine him being a good IC champion, but I just don't think they're taking the belt off Dominic Mysterio. So I'm having Dominic Mysterio retain just because I think Dominic Mysterio is the future of the company. And AJ Styles, he's close to reaching the end, and I don't think he needs another title run. He's just, except for the IC champion, he's just about every single championship in the entire world. Next match, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match for the US Championship. Jacob Fatu should have never lost against Solo Sikoa. It just should never have happened. Jacob Fatu should have been kept strong, beaten Solo Sikoa, and just eaten the entire roster and just had everybody for breakfast. That's just what I want to see happen with Jacob Fatu. He should just eat everybody for breakfast. It would just be done. Now, the steel cage match is to make sure that none of Solo's henchmen could interfere, but we know from history that that means nothing in a steel cage match. It literally means nothing. But I do think I want Jacob Fatu to win, and he needs to win, and he needs to become US champion and retain it for the next 45 years until WWE wants him to be the world champion, and then he just eats everybody as well. Becky Lynch versus Lara Valkyria, and I never liked these stipulations. Never, ever liked these stipulations where if you lose, you cannot challenge for this championship again, or at least while Becky Lynch is champion. This one is tough because Lara should win, because otherwise she can't challenge again, and then this feud is done. But there's also the looming Bayley What's happening there? Is Bayley a heel? Is she a face? What is happening with Bayley? Are we moving towards Bayley and Becky Lynch? Is Bayley maybe going to cost Lara Valkyria the championship to take out Becky Lynch, and then Bayley and Becky Lynch, and then eventually we move on to Lara versus Bayley? I would not mind that. I honestly don't know what to predict of this one. I'm going to go with Lara wins, unless we're doing Bayley versus Lara in the future and Bayley costing something in this match. That's what I'm predicting. Then we've got Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Simple. Naomi's new character is one of the best on TV at the moment. Naomi has to retain because we are moving on to Naomi versus Bianca Belair. We all know that. We can all see that from 100 miles away. Naomi absolutely has to retain. Unfortunately, either Rhea Ripley or Io Sky has to take the pin, which is sad. But ultimately, I think it will be Io Sky because WWE, they are definitely going to keep Rhea Ripley strong. And lastly, street fight, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. John Cena in this match, he's starting already, and Cody Rhodes is also starting already. What are they starting? They're starting to turn. I did this and you couldn't see it because it was under the screen. They're starting to turn. Somewhere during this match, John Cena is going to start working babyface and Cody Rhodes is going to start working heel. That's my prediction. Ultimately, Cody Rhodes is taking the championship off John Cena, but in doing this, he's going to turn heel and John Cena is going to turn face. Maybe a couple of low blows, a couple of kicks in the nads. He's turning heel, John Cena's turning face. John Cena will finish his career off as a mega babyface the way it should be. Now it opens up the opportunity for him to go up against some heels, because obviously he went up against all the faces. He went up against CM Punk, he went up against Randy Orton, he went against AJ Styles, he went against all these guys, but now it gives him the opportunity to go against all the heels to really finish off his career. But I do think John Cena is taking the L. Cody Rhodes, walking out champion, but as a heel. As a heel. What do you guys think of my predictions? How many of them, wow, what am I saying? How many of them do you disagree with? Let me know in the comment section. Peace.